Welcome to our video. We're going to show you not only how to make self-watering buckets, but how we've put them on our patio to prevent the deer from gorging on them. We have a garden over my shoulder that you may or may not be able to see, but it's right in deer country, and we can't keep a garden out there even with the deer netting. So we're going to show you how we're doing this on our deck. You're looking at where we're going to put a set of shelves, and we're going to use some buckets that have false bottoms in them and a water reservoir so that they will be self-watering. Basically, the shelves are going to go from here over to there and then all the way across. Pan the camera all the way across over to the last grill. We're going to move the smoker out. The table will be moved a little bit closer to the house, and we'll be taking up probably about this much space from the railing of the deck. Okay, as you can see, this is the area where we're going to put the support boards, the shelves, right along this railing here. You can see the steps going down in our garden back there in the background that the deer enjoy and that we don't. You'll see some wood laying on the left that I will be using to make some of the supports, and I'll have a little short segment on how to do that. But this is what it looks like before we put anything in place. Now you see the supports that we've put in, the braces. The piece across the back is actually screwed to the balustrades on the balusters on the railing to provide some stability and keep this from racking. But you can see these are 10 feet long, and we're going to be just laying them right on top of and screwing them into these supports. You can see I'm sitting in the bleachers. Actually, it's not bleachers. It's support structure for my garden that the deer can't get to because they have to climb steps, and they don't climb steps very well. As you can see, it's pretty sturdy. It has 3 supports that we built, and I'll show you how to build one of those later on. It overhangs a little bit on each end, so I could get by with 3 supports instead of 4. But even like this, both Cheryl and I stood on this, and it held us both up. So I think it'll hold whatever plants and water we have. So now you can see how this thing looks. And we'll have another one that'll go along this way, parallel to this railing. And according to my calculations, we can actually put 60 buckets on these supports, on these stands. So I'll keep you posted as we move along. Okay, it's the same afternoon. We're continuing on a Sunday afternoon. We've got all our materials laid out for our self-watering buckets. We have 9 buckets, enough to make 9 buckets. We already have 1 made, so that'll be a total of 10. You can see over here what we're doing with the tomato cages. Looking down inside, you can see that we have put the tomato cages in some of the holes that are in the separator. And what we're going to do is put the dirt in on top of that. And when we run out of tomato cages, if we want to put something besides tomatoes in here, we can just pull them straight up, and that'll work fine. And we'll have the tomato cages pretty sturdy, and we'll use the zip ties to tie them to the buckets. But you can see what we've done here is one of the buckets that we actually have. You can see the soil here. Got a little X cut in the top, so you can see where we're going to plant. We have our fill hole right here, and that's what it looks like. So now we're going to take all of this stuff, and we're going to make 9 self-watering buckets. We'll be back later. Okay, a couple of things I wanted to mention. Notice that the tops of these wicking chambers are not level. They're not perfectly cut. The holes aren't evenly spaced. It doesn't matter. Like they say, this isn't rocket surgery. Also notice that these fill tubes, the bottom of the fill tube is cut off at an angle, and that will keep it from getting clogged. So when it's in the bucket like this, the water can come out and it won't get clogged if there's any dirt in the bottom of the bucket. So Don't worry about it. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just you know, we're just making buckets to grow plants in. Okay, it is 5 o'clock on the afternoon of February 18th, Sunday, February 18th. We have planted our first tomato plants right here in these buckets. Both of them are Better Boys. Get rid of the funnel here. And we've got the other bucket that we had ready to plant something else. We've turned some of the buckets upside down so they won't collect water. But in these buckets over here, where they're ready to have soil put in, we don't really care whether they collect water or not. And notice that we have on our tomato cages, we have used twist ties, not twist ties, we have used zip ties to tie them down to the bucket so that they will hold the tomato plants up when they're in full bloom and lots of tomatoes on them. The problem is that it's tough to get dirt in there after that. These are actually pushed down into the holes inside the upper level above the water, and they're pretty sturdy. I can actually pick these buckets up by the tomato cages, and they will, you know, there's about 2 gallons of water plus the soil plus a little bit of fertilizer, and we're ready to go. So if everything goes well, we might have tomatoes by the 10th of May. Wish us luck, and we'll keep you posted.